Welcome back to Tiny Bunny, and this is episode 3 on N. The wolf's gray hair will stand. Gray fur will stand. Sorry, I've been petting my dog all day. Not a euphemism. Like I've been petting my dog, my circus dog. Um, she's not with me right now. She's probably asleep on the electric blanket. She doesn't like screaming as much as Sky did. But let's get started. He's the one who hated Bobbern. Ooh. Don't put hand over Jackie Chan move. Don't put hand over heated flame. You think he did it? I've heard he's a weirdo. I hurriedly rubbed my glasses. The glasses. Semyon was clutching them in his fist while I was getting beaten up. And in just a couple of hours, this lost item was lying on the ledge of my window. It was hard to imagine that Sioma suddenly got guilty conscience and returned my glasses in such a strange way. I was shocked, but kept walking towards the classroom, accompanied by nasty whispers all around me. The photos still stood before my eyes. Semyon had gone missing. Semyon is gone. His fat fingers will never get to my throat. His signet ring won't smash into my chin. He'll never humiliate me again. Wasn't that what I wished for? On the other hand, did I really wish Semyon to become a murky stain on the notice board? He was still someone's son or grandson, and he went through the same struggles as me. Did I really wish for my unseen companion to dispatch him with such brutal fashion? I didn't know the answer. Or I was just scared of it. Nonetheless, school still had something nice about it. Polina, the girl with the violin, was like a mountain spring, like well water that you gulp down, pressing your lips against the zinc outer ring of a bucket and can't ever get enough. What if I make her one of the characters in the story I'll draw? The protagonist will save her from the terrifying monsters. As soon as I thought of the monsters, a bunch of my classmates slid down the rails, smirking like the xenomorphs from the Alien. I immediately felt larva of fear writhe within my stomach. I didn't want to cross paths with Romka or Bayasha after what happened yesterday, especially since Semyon was suddenly missing. I entered the classroom and went towards the last row. And then all of the chatter suddenly died down, so I walked there in complete silence. It felt like my classmates pushed and poked me with their stares. They carefully observed my every move. They looked at me with a... Oh, ads start in 1 minute. If you'd like to remove the ads, please consider subscribing with Prime or a regular subscription, or gift a sub. They looked at me with a mortifying mix of pity, ridicule, and derision, like a scientist looks at an ugly, reprehensive representative of a newfound species of worm. I stared at the desk. Jake's likes games. Hi! Not a new chatter, but guess what? You'll get a Mew. How you doing? On Phasmo? It's my favorite. I'm good. Just reading this horror story of a Russian novel. Just hanging, enjoying the day off. I stared at the desk with the huge pile of library textbooks on top, my fists clenched. Okay. You enjoying the day off? It felt like I was the one who disappeared in that snowy forest and my desk was finally used for something worthwhile. Yes, I very much needed it. No work either. You work now? Oh my gosh, Jake's all grown up. Mad though because I am pet sitting, so I had to drive at 6 a.m. to do that and I couldn't fall back asleep. I slept beautifully last night. And this morning, I turned off my alarms to get my son out of bed. You have 2 jobs? One is an event place, so it's slow right now. Other is a catering company I've worked at for 2 years now. Jake, are you still underage? Okay. I just have to be mindful of some of my viewers. None of the places exceeded 20 hours a week, so it's legal. I'm so proud of you, though. And your schoolwork is doing well? Okay. Bye. Some young, empty chairs stood out in front of me. Okay. Good. Proud of you. Semyon's empty chair stood out in front of me, the chair that once belonged to Vova gathered dust somewhere in another classroom. I guess we have to sit down. After a moment's hesitation, I sat down in Baberin's desk, the place where I was supposed to be assigned by Lilia Pavlovna at first. The chatter resumed, as if someone just unpaused a movie.
Бабушка Бабурина такой кипиш устроила, когда он домой не явился.
Baberin's grandma made such a fuss when he didn't return home.
Сначала в школу прибежала, потом ментов вызвала.
First she ran to the school, then called the cops.
Да-да-да.
Mm-hmm. Katya snuck a cunning glance at me, then leaned into her neighbor and whispered something. Girls from the second row also leaned in. She shared something with them too. Whispers and nods. I kept catching her stare on myself. Her neighbors stared too. The whole class was watching me. It was like they felt the need to watch me because... she smiled. Because... they were searching for traces of blood on my fingers. I wanted to defend myself and shout, "Guys, listen, I'm innocent." The delinquents turned around and stared at me in silence. Their looks were dripping with malice. But why? What did I do to them? Their friend went missing and they still focused on me? Suddenly I noticed Bayasha drilling a hole. Thank you, Jake! Let it be known I don't condone underage weed. That being said, that was an excellent hit. Good. Just crazy indie horror gaming. When are we gonna play Phasmo again? That's what I like to hear. I'll re-download Devour. I haven't had a lot of space on my computer lately. I noticed you playing Devour a lot lately. We haven't played that in a minute. Thaija! How are you? I'm on a weed break. You just played the new map, it's so scary. Thaija, how goes it? Thank you. You get Mew. Let's see, what can I do? There we go. I wonder if that worked. I don't know. It did? Yay! Muse for you. How are your card games going? Anyone who hasn't followed Thaija, please do. And Jake like games. Both excellent streamers. Okay. Weed break done. Ooh, now I feel like I have to sneeze, but I don't. I only really stream like once a year. Jake. You're welcome. Yeah, but when you do, it's really fun. Suddenly, I noticed Bayasha drilling a hole into my nose with his eyes. It felt like he was about to point his finger at me and shout at the top of his lungs, "Everyone look, Bobarin snatched his glasses yesterday and now he has them back. Murder." But he remained silent as if there was nothing special at all about my glasses. I may be going mad, but I think Bayasha knows something. He knows something, but he won't tell me what. As if looking for protection, I clutched the ruler until my hand hurt.
Не надо быть Коломбо, чтобы догадаться.
You don't have to be Columbo to solve this.
Кто на Бабурина зуб имел?
Who held a grudge against Bobarin?
Кто его вчера ударил? Поиздевался, а после...
Who hit him yesterday, bullied him, and then... And after I found... and hurt my knee 6 months ago, I don't have live stream because I can't use my steering wheel and pedals and drive Euro Trucker. Oh, I'm so sorry, Thaija. You're still on my, like, VIP streamers. Like my recommended. The metal ruler fell out of my week. That's only been about a month since I started being able to walk around. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry to hear that. Are you okay? Lurk for a bit. If I don't come back, I'll talk to you soon. Lurk. Okay, thank you, Jake. The metal ruler fell out of my weak fingers. It hit the floor with a jingle that made the other kids shudder. Katya bit her tongue and squirmed nervously. Chairs scraped against the floor. My classmates moved away from me, closer to the exit, toward the teacher's desk. I was not the only one to catch the wind of the change. Ramka and Bayasha looked around and winced in contempt. Too bad they weren't afraid of me like everybody else.
Да прикуси ты!
Shut it.
Бабурин, небось, бабкой посрался и дымил на.
I bet you Bobarin just got a whooping from his old hag and ran off.
Скоро найдется.
They'll find him soon.
Найдется, ага.
They'll find him alright.
Во враге, со вспоротым брюхом.
No, it's not okay. I still have some pain from time to time, and I still limp when I walk around and still have to use a crutch. Wow. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry that happened. In a ravine with his stomach cut open again. I gulped. I imagined Sayoma on a snowy blanket, his face white like a fish belly, split down the middle by the crevice of his mouth, snowflakes falling on his glassy eyes and filling up his throat. See, I could almost hear his condescending tone. It's all your fault. But why was Simeon the only one getting his just desserts for bullying me? Weren't all of them supposed to disappear? Ramka, Bayasha, Katya, along with every laughing onlooker? Weren't all of them supposed to disappear? Of course, Semyon did me a favor by disappearing. Thanks to him, my classmates now stared at me in awe. Daija, I'm still shook. I'm so sorry to hear that. But fortunately, I am in a country that has a good hospital system and it doesn't cost anything to be seated. Whew. I'm so happy for that. Yeah, people go into medical debt here in the US if they don't have good insurance. Where are you at? What country? If you don't mind me asking, Thaija. As of late. Thaija's the traveler. But that was only one side of the coin. What if I'll have to repay that favor soon? The door creaked. Polina entered the classroom. I straightened up in a hurry so she wouldn't see me looking like a scared critter. Polina went to her seat without looking at me. The ringer's trill announced the start of class.
Так, заканчиваем бардак. Дети, встаньте.
All right, stop messing around, class. Stand up.
Петров, тебя это тоже касается.
You too, Petrov. The only thing that can cost you money in the hospital system is if you don't show up for an appointment, you get a fine because you've used up time that someone else could have used. That makes better sense. That makes way better sense. Why don't we fucking do that? God damn it. I wish the US made sense. Lilia Pavlovna went to her desk, followed by a policeman in a uniform. It was the man that visited us recently. Tall and his stare so sharp you could just get cut on it.
Здрасте.
Hello there, kids.
Здравствуйте!
Hi. That's a lot
Садитесь.
for hi. You can sit down, kids.
Познакомьтесь, это старший лейтенант Константин Владимирович Тихонов.
Thaija, do you understand this? Do you understand Russian? Is this Russian? I assume it's Russian. No. No to what? I asked a lot of questions. Sorry, Jake got me high. This is Senior Lieutenant Konstantin Vladimirovich Tikhonova. Oh my god, I tripped through that name.
Он задаст вам несколько вопросов и проведет небольшую лекцию по безопасности.
He's going to ask you a couple of questions and give you a small PSA.
Лучше лекция от милиционера, чем уроки. Да! Уроки не будет здорово! Ура!
I don't know Russian, and it's a long way from Polish to Russian. There might be a few words that I'll be able to understand that'll be close to Polish. The class livened up. Talking to a policeman was way better than studying. Well, it's not close to Spanish at all, and I don't understand a lick of it. I, on the other hand, was ready to sit through hundreds of hours of Russian literature just to escape the lieutenant's oppressive stares. His brown eyes felt around the classroom looking for me. Hair stood on the back of my neck, and an icicle had lodged in my gut.
А правда, что Бабурина маньяк убил?
Is it true that Bobberin got killed by a serial killer? What kind of person asks that?
Екатерина, ну-ка цыц! Вопросы здесь взрослые задают.
Shish, Katerina, let the adults ask the questions here.
Просто нам всем страшно.
We're all scared.
Может, убийца бродит где-то рядом?
Maybe the killer is somewhere close. As she eyes him.
Или сидит у нас за спиной?
Maybe they're even sitting among us. Her sly stare was directed at me. Tikhonov stepped in between the rows of desks and started walking in an excruciatingly slow pace, brushing his fingers against the chairs he passed by. Some of the students almost broke their necks following his movements. That's how a crowd of commoners would gleefully anticipate a public execution in the Middle Ages. And he just walked, getting closer and closer to me. I gritted my teeth to stop myself from screaming. Calm down. Breathe. You didn't kill or kidnap anyone. He already knew the answer to this question, but the policeman still asked in a stern voice. What'd he ask?
Petrov Anton?
Antov Petrov?
Да.
Yes.
Встань, Петров.
Stand up, Petrov. My muscles turned to stone. I got up, unglued myself from the chair. I felt like I could hear all my joints creak in the process. I only wished that Polina wouldn't turn around and see the grimace of horror on my face. If only I could be somewhere far away, in the forest, digging myself into a snow pile, rolling up into a ball there. The officer stared at me as if he was about to lock a pair of handcuffs on my wrist. I wonder how cold those bracelets are to the touch. I imagined myself getting jailed and put into a juvenile detention center where tens of Semyons would constantly harass me.
Я ничего не знаю. Я тут ни при чем.
I don't know anything. I have nothing to do with this.
А тебя никто и не обвиняет.
Nobody is accusing you of anything.
Пока что.
For now. Only then I noticed a file that said case number in his hand. It had a gray cover made from rough carton. It flopped onto the desk like a guillotine blade that slid down on someone's neck. With measured motion, Tikhonov opened the file, still studying me with his gaze. I caught a glimpse of documents and photos. They showed prints on the snow. They looked like animal prints.
Ты с Семеном Бабуриным общался?
Have you talked to Semyon Baburin before?
Я знал его всего одну неделю.
I only knew him for a week.
Все знают, Петров его ненавидел.
Everyone knows that Petrov hated him. I turned red. I'm not gonna say that. I wanted to sink my teeth into Katya's face and chew out her cheek. I'll say that though. Like, why? Instead, I replied with the calmest voice I could muster.
Мы повздорили вчера.
We had a fight yesterday. You're so incriminating, bro.
Но он первый начал.
But he started it.
Я его ударил.
So I hit him.
Сильно?
How hard did you hit him?
Да нет, так.
Not hard, I mean. I waved my hand indecisively. Tikhonov looked at my fist as if he was surprised that I managed to hit the big kid from the photo. Surprisingly, Lilia Pavlovna came to my rescue.
Бабурин проблемный подросток. С шилом кое-где.
Barbarin is a troubled teen, a true pain in the rear. The officer replied with a meaningful nod and fished out a notebook out of the file.
Это твое?
Is this yours? I averted my gaze. It was a math book with my name on it. My classmates devoured me greedily with their gazes. I felt like even the writers on the portraits squinted at me in suspicion.
Мое.
Yes?
В лесу нашли.
We found it in the forest.
Там же тракторист, что снег убирал в последний раз, видел Бабурина.
In the area where the tractor driver who was plowing snow there last saw Barbarin. I started blinking in bewilderment. The lieutenant knew about the school brawl, but was he aware of the fight in the forest clearing? I had witnesses that could testify to Semyon and I walking in different directions after that. I looked towards the boys, hopeful. Ronga, who sat behind Tikhonov, put his finger to his lips. And when the officer quickly turned around, he pretended to pick his nose. I deciphered his signal. What a cover. Boys like Ronka would probably say something like snitches get stitches in a situation like this. I frantically fixed my glasses. Wait, Semyon took them away yesterday, but now they're...
Так что ты делал вчера в лесу, Антон?
So what were you doing in the forest yesterday, Anton?
Я в школу через лес хожу.
I go to school through the forest.
Могла выпасть легко.
It could have easily fallen out of my bag. Easily, just like me producing this half-truth.
Будь осторожнее.
Be careful out there. Before I could realize whether it was a genuine piece of advice or a veiled threat, the teacher said,
Класс. А сейчас лейтенант расскажет о правилах, которые вам необходимо соблюдать.
Class, the officer will now tell you about some rules you should follow.
Так маньяк все-таки есть.
So the killer does exist.
Пока мы ничего вам сказать не можем.
We can't make any of this public for now.
Но есть преступник или нет, вы должны четко помнить о собственной безопасности.
Whether the criminal really exists or not, you should be mindful of your safety.
Вас бережет милиция. Вас опекают родители и учителя. Но в первую очередь защищать себя должны вы сами.
The police, your parents, and your teachers all watch over you, but no one guards you better than you yourself.
Итак, кто там что хотел узнать?
Alright, any questions? A stockade of arms rose from the desks.
А у вас оружие с собой? А покажите пистолет.
Покажите, пожалуйста. Охрана
The kids shouted over each other, swarming the policemen with questions. In an attempt to calm down that chorus, he moved towards the blackboard. The gray file was left lying in front of me. Oh, we're definitely gonna look in it. I stared at it, my breath so ragged that it might have looked like someone who just ran a 100-meter sprint. I looked around the classroom. My classmates were catching officers' every word. Only Romka was saying something to Bayasha.
Так.
Lilia Pavlovna was staring into the window, fighting back yawns.
Объявлять комендантский час причин пока...
That was bad. My hand instinctively moved away as if that stare actually hurt. The officer just kept staring at me without saying a word, making me squirm under the weight of this uncomfortable silence and the sneering looks of my classmates.
Нет. Слишком мало времени прошло с момента исчезновения вашего одноклассника. Мы все уверены, что он найдется живым и здоровым. Но сразу после уроков вы должны идти домой.
Nobody paid me any mind, so I slowly opened the file. My fingers started sifting through the documents. Ksenia Televia, 6 years old, left her home sometime in December. Identifying features, okay. My heart almost jumped out of my ribcage. Round-faced girl, no older than Olya, smiled at me from the photo. First victim of a serial killer. First child to disappear from the forest without a trace. Come on, go. Go! I turned another page. Vladimir Matyukin, 10 years old. Vova was the second. His mitten hanging from the branch, his name called out by desperate adults and repeated by the sneering echo. Lilia Pavlovna coughed, trying to calm down the rowdy students. I yanked my hand away and the file closed. The officer finished his lecture and started searching around with his eyes.
И еще раз.
Let me say this again.
Если вы заметите в поселке кого-то подозрительного, неважно, возле школы или на лесной тропинке, сразу сообщайте в милицию.
If you see anyone suspicious in the village, be it near the school or the forest trail, contact the police immediately.
Телефон-то знаете?
You know our number, right? 02.
Спасибо, ребята.
Am I gonna have to write that down? Fuck. Thanks for listening, boys and girls.
Спасибо, Лилия Павловна.
Thank you, Lilia Pavlovna.
И это,
And
Одноклассника
we'll
вашего
find
мы
your
найдем.
classmate. Yeah, right. A thought flashed through my mind. Dig through enough ditches and maybe you'll be able to piece him together. What the? Russian horror. Like Legos. My thoughts turned evil for some reason and I couldn't control them. I tried to switch to the lieutenant's speech about suspicious individuals. What if I saw the killer before? What if it was a hair's breadth away from them? Suspicious people, My money's on Katya. How suspicious was the fox girl that wandered in the darkness? A weirdo that always appears out of nowhere and then dissolves into thin air with her riddles and rhymes? Could she really harm the hulking Semyon? Should I tell the officer about her? What if the lives of other kids depend on this? Of the cute Sinea and Vova too? Wait, what if I get mocked for speaking out? What if they'll start whispering behind my back, or what's even worse, think that I'm insane? Oh no. Romka gave me a stern, over-the-shoulder look. I doubt someone like him would approve of cooperating with the police. Katya's braid dangled nervously behind the delinquents sitting in front of me. My hand was glued to the desk.
До свидания, лейтенант.
Tikhonov was saying goodbye to Lilia Pavlovna. He was about to leave. It'll be too late soon. I unglued my palm from the tabletop like an idiot. I needed to warn him, at the very least for Olya's sake, to assure her safety in the house near the squeaky pines. I raised my hand, heavy as a dumbbell.
Простите.
Excuse me. Almost 24 heads turned my way. My teacher, the officer, Polina. Katya shoved an elbow into her friend's side. Sleepy Bayasha stretched out his neck. Romka frowned inquiringly.
Я слушаю.
I'm listening. It felt like I was being studied under a microscope.
Вчера утром по дороге в школу я видел незнакомого человека.
Yesterday, when I was walking to school in the morning, I saw an unfamiliar person. My classmates started whispering. Tikhonov frowned, a deep wrinkle adorning the spaces between his eyebrows.
Да откуда ему знать, чужак это или кто-то из местных?
There's no way he'd be able to tell if it was an outsider or a local.
Он же в поселке без году неделя.
He just moved to our village. The other kid smirked. Katya flashed an evil smile.
Спокойствие.
Calm down.
Антон, а сможешь детальнее описать?
Can you describe them in more detail, Anton? Then it dawned on me. I can do more than describe them. What I can do,
Я нарисовать могу.
I can draw them.
Я рисую немного.
I know how to draw, kind of. After spitting out this confession, I expected everybody to laugh, but that didn't happen. Lurk, I want to play a little Hearthstone too. Okay, thank you, Thaija. Appreciate it. After spitting out this confession, I expected everybody to laugh, but that didn't happen. Even Katya stayed silent. Wishing you the best, Thaija. Polina tilted her head and studied me with an intriguing look on her face. I was pleased by this wave of attention. It made me feel bolder, so I asked,
Нарисовать?
"Do you want me to?" Tikhonov slowly nodded.
Лиль Павловна, мы тут проведем следственный эксперимент, а?
Lilia Pavlovna will conduct a bit of an experiment here, all right?
Пожалуйста, пожалуйста.
Of course, of course. I took out a pen, flattened out a sheet of paper. My classmates stared at me in anticipation. Polina smiled, and it was the best reward I could get for my boldness. I have multiple monitors and multiple computers I can view things on. Thank you.
Ну что, Ван Гог, рисуй.
Well, go on, Van Gogh, draw. Hmm.
Вот, пожалуйста.
Oh boy. Okay, they're gonna think we're crazy. Van Gogh. Achievement.
Это что, лиса? Смешно, юморист.
What's this? A fox? Very funny.
Прикажешь ее по лесу с собаками ловить?
Should we send a pack of hunting dogs on its trail? I felt like the windows started shaking from everybody's laughter. Even Lilia Pavlovna couldn't help it.
Все не так.
That's not it.
Петров! А Чебурашка тебе не попадался?
Hey Petrov, maybe you also met with Cheburashka? a cult character created by Edward Uspensky as one of the main characters in the book Jenna the Crocodile and His Friends. He was later featured in a series of cartoons, some of which were produced in Japan. Hilarious, simply hilarious. I was burning at the stake of shame.
Все ясно. Что тут еще скажешь?
Case closed, I guess. Tikhonov crumpled my drawing in his fist.
Ну, занимайтесь.
Well, I'll be going. He left. The bell rang.
Придурочный.
Nut job. I didn't move, just kept staring into space. Lilia Pavlovna passed by without looking my way. Polina left after her. My classmates went silent at the same time, as if someone muted the sound on TV. They followed me with their eyes the whole time I was passing between the rows. Judgmental looks. I felt like I was on the scopes of many of sniper rifles. I squeezed through the barricade made of desks, looking for Polina. But I stumbled onto my new buddies instead. Romka swaggered up to me.
Решил сдать нас ментам?
Decided to rat us out to the cops.
Но я ничего не сказал.
I didn't say anything,
Да то подумал на.
but sure as fuck thought about it. Romka towered over me, breathing out a faint smell of tobacco.
Ты сильно ошибаешься, думая, что без Сёмы у тебя настанут веселые деньки.
You're very wrong if you think that without Syoma here, you'll have a better time.
Можешь не притворяться дурачком, пытаясь удивить Полину своей мазнёй или корчить из себя психа.
You can stop your weird act trying to impress Polina with your doodles or by acting like a loony.
Мы тебя сосвету живем, понял?
We'll make this place hell for you, got it?
До скорого, очкарик.
See you, Four Eyes. My head tilted forward from his slap.
Вот ты лохна!
What a loser. I wasn't surprised to find a note stuck to my back during the break. It said, "Kick me." My nightmare clearly wasn't about to end. It's been 7 days since the lieutenant visited our classes. At first glance, everything was still the same. The forest still held out its gnarly claws toward the village, and the wind whipped up white flags weaved from powdery snow every night. When my parents argued in the other room, I would turn up the TV's volume to silence their muffled voices and sit close to Olya. Vova's and Semyon's photos were still 2 black spots on the notice board, and round-faced Senya hasn't returned home too. But something did change. I could see how different the looks of my classmates were. They met me with new portions of pokes and insults. Contempt, mockery, and loneliness became my faithful companions. But most importantly, a shadow slid across my desk, leaving behind a mysterious note. I gleaned into the spaces between the rows, but the messenger was already nowhere to be found. Who sent me this note? Who could this carefully ripped out and neatly folded piece of paper be hiding from me? More threats and humiliation, or... I took the piece of paper and carefully inhaled the wafting aroma. Blackberry. I'll be waiting at a cul-de-sac near the dressing room. Come alone with a heart. Wow, we'll see how good my eyesight really is. Damn! Inside the message in beautiful handwriting. I'm waiting at the dead end near the dressing room. Come alone. Drunk on the sudden call, I immediately started walking over my shoulder from time to time, making sure no one is following me. Even though I suspected it could be another trap set up by Romka and Bayasha at first, this buzzing thought soon left my mind. The two of them didn't have enough combined brain power to fake Polina's note so carefully. I didn't even notice how I almost broke into a run and jumped around the corner. As soon as I did, I rammed into somebody inside the dark nook.
Ой!
Ow! Like a magic bird, a green notebook glided into my feet. Polina puffed her cheeks in exaggerated anger.
Петров! Да ты совсем зрение потерял.
Petrov, have you lost your sight completely? I fixed my glasses. My nearsightedness wasn't that embarrassing anymore. I bent down and picked up the notebook.
Прости, я так торопился. Ты меня ждала? Что случилось?
Sorry, I was in a rush. Were you waiting for me? Did something happen? Polina studied me with her eyes and clicked her tongue.
А знаешь, на что ты похож, Антоша?
Do you know what you look like, Antosha?
На блюзовую импровизацию.
Like blues improv. I blinked in bewilderment.
Это как?
What do you mean?
Для меня все люди с чем-то ассоциируются.
I always associate people I know with something.
И для меня, но не с музыкой же.
I do that too, but why music?
Вот как раз с музыкой.
It can't be anything other than music.
Бывают люди гитарные соло, или барабанный бой, или военный марш, как наша Лилия Павловна.
Some people are like guitar solos. Some are like drums. People like our Lilia Pavlovna or war marches.
А ты такой задумчивый, таинственный, иногда немного печальный.
And you're so thoughtful, so mysterious, sometimes even a bit sad.
Ты точно блюз.
You're definitely blues.
А почему импровизация?
What about the improv part?
А это когда слушатель не догадывается, куда свернет мелодия, какой темп возьмет.
It's when the listener has no idea where the melody will go, what the tempo will do. It will adapt. Of course, some of the things Polina said went completely over my head. But I couldn't stop looking at her smile. like a breeze in May, and her eyes deep and blue.
Чтобы распознать в тебе музыку, нужен опыт и вкус.
One needs to have experience and taste to recognize the music in you.
Это не какая-то там эстрада.
You're not some pop music.
Я, наверное, вообще не знаю, что такое этот блюз.
I don't think I even know what blues is. Polina gasped and frowned, which made her look even more beautiful.
Не произноси при мне такие слова. Я тебе обязательно дам кассету.
Don't say something like that to my face. I'll make sure to give you a cassette.
Раньше мне дедушка из города столько музыки привозил. И джаз, и свинг, и классику.
Grandpa used to bring me so much music from the city, jazz, swing, and classical too.
Это он подметил, что у меня склад ума, как у музыканта.
He was the one to notice my musical mindset.
Я еще совсем маленькой пыталась на бумаге записать звуки природы. Пение дождя, леса.
When I was still very little, I tried recording the sounds of nature on paper, the sounds of rain in the forest.
Эх, мне бы твои уши.
I wish I had ears like yours.
А мне бы твои глаза.
And I'd love to have your eyes. I tensed up, worried that she was making fun of me, but Polina shook her head.
Да-да, я серьезно. У тебя глаза художника.
No, I'm serious. You have the eyes of an artist.
Смотришь на вещи и фиксируешь их. Я так не умею.
You're so good at picturing things. I can't do that. Katya walked past us with her trademark frosty glare. We dove into the shadows, trying to escape it.
Теперь понимаешь, почему мы тут прячемся? Вот из-за таких, как она.
You understand why we're hiding here, right? Because of people like her?
А Катька как?
Polina flashed me a Polina flashed me a sly smile.
Скрип несмазанных дверных петель.
The squeaking sound of unoiled door hinges.
Знаешь, такой мерзкий дискант.
You know this nasty decant? Discant? I giggled, covering my mouth. She's gonna catch you guys. Katya didn't hear our whispers, but she suddenly glanced over her shoulder, clearly annoyed. A moment later, she sighed and went her way. I remembered about the notebook I was still clutching in my hand. I turned it in my hands. Instead of a subject name, the front side had the name of the owner in 2 words. Friends only.
Любопытной Варваре кое-что оторвали.
Curiosity killed the cat, you know.
Прости, это анкета?
I'm sorry, is this a questionnaire?
Заполнял когда-нибудь?
Have you ever filled one?
Угу.
I lied that I had. In reality, girl classmates from my previous school had never asked me to fill their questionnaires. It was quite upsetting. I mean, it was a girl hobby. You just answer a set of standard questions about your favorite actors and colors, but entrusting someone with such a notebook was a sign of friendship. And maybe of something even more, something I only had a vague idea about.
Хочешь, заполни мою?
You can fill in mine if you want. My heartbeat quickened.
Хочу, спасибо.
I do, thank you. Polina giggled.
А хотя, там же столько секретов.
Actually, there are so many secrets there.
Наверное, лучше тебе не знать, о чем мы, девочки, думаем.
You'd be better off not knowing what we girls think. She reached for the notebook, playing with me. I tossed my finding into my free hand. Polina tried to intercept my move. Her hair briefly touched my face, tickling my nose with its silky locks. I sensed an aroma that immediately filled the whole world. Fragrant, alluring, lively. If only I could picture it, steal it for myself. I felt dizzy, but I gathered myself and spoke into a voice reminiscent of Lieutenant Tikhonov.
Ваша анкета является важнейшей уликой, и я вынужден временно изъять ее для изучения.
Your questionnaire is an important piece of evidence, so I'm afraid I have to confiscate it for further examination. Polina covered her mouth, that rounded in fake horror.
И что мне грозит за сокрытие улик?
And what are the implications of concealing evidence?
Следствие покажет.
We'll decide that in the course of our investigation.
Сдаюсь, товарищ милиционер.
I surrender, Mr. Policeman.
Только обещайте ничего не читать.
Just promise you won't read anything.
Здесь содержатся секретные сведения.
It's full of sensitive information.
Боюсь, что мне все-таки придется выяснить, не влюблен ли кто в гражданина Петрова.
I'm afraid I'll have to investigate whether someone is in love with Mr. Petrov. Polina burst out laughing and pressed herself against my chest, showering me with the aroma of her hair and her milky skin that almost looked transparent, with tiny threads of veins running under it. Don't you love when you can tell a guy wrote something? Her whisper was hot, like a piece of butter sizzling on a pan.
Тогда поклянитесь, что не станете разглашать информацию.
Then swear you will keep this information private.
Честная милицейская.
I swear on my police badge.
А теперь, Антоша, самое время поторопиться.
And now we need to hurry, Antosha. I took out the notebook during class. I skimmed through it, reading into other people's preferences. I was quite surprised to discover Romka's jerky handwriting inside. His letters bulged out of the cells as if embarrassed by their shapelessness. Fearsome Romka found time for something so silly. I chuckled into my fist after I found out that Romka's favorite cartoon is not even Darkwing Duck, but DuckTales. Somewhere in the distance, a teacher was reciting pieces of Andreev's Snapper. I paid them no mind. Polina's page was decorated with flower drawings and clippings from cool girl magazines. Her favorite musician is Schubert. Her friend is her grandpa. My dog is trying to get in. Her hobby is not violin like I expected, but a much more mysterious listening. Can such a mundane process really be someone's hobby? I looked at Polina over the heads of other students. She was focused on taking notes. I flipped the page until I found a blank one and armed myself with a pen. Anton Petrov, class 6B. Questions. What's your name? What class are you in? Your favorite music? Your favorite holiday? Your hobby? What's your dream? Your hero? Your biggest fear? Your phone number? Your favorite cartoon? Your best friend? Well, let's see. You guys all know my name. I'm not in any classes right now. My favorite music is probably Ashniko or classical. I know, it's one or the other. Favorite holiday? Halloween. My hobby? I'm doing it. My dream? That's a secret. My hero? All I can think about is Aizawa from My Hero Academia. Biggest fear? Not telling. But I'm pretty sure everyone can guess it. My phone number is a secret. My favorite cartoon is probably Avatar: The Last Airbender or Legends of Korra. And I have a few best friends. Let's see about Anton. It took a long time to decide on my favorite musician until a trendy pop band, Carman, came to mind with the cool dancers in their music videos. A Soviet and Russian techno-pop band most popular in the late 80s to early 90s. Founded by Rodgan Titomir and Sergei Lemek. It's mostly remembered for unique dancing performances and for writing a music theme for Captain Pronin cartoon. Favorite holiday? That one's easy. New Year's. Why New Year's? Why is that easy? I'm so confused. My hobby is drawing. I could have put painting. My dream, going to Disneyland, I guess. My hero, My hand moved on its own, writing. Duh. I stopped on those 2 letters. What if who's ever reading this after me will find my answer laughable and stupid? After thinking of it, I decided that not everything should be disclosed on paper. That's how Das turned into Spider-Man. The spelling was wrong, but who cares? Your biggest fear, huh? I immediately wrote losing a person who's dear to me. Your phone number. No secret here. 30395. You know what? Same. Your favorite cartoon. Transformers? I know. What a bad pick. Your best friend. I hesitated, gnawing on the pen's cap. Rose, what are you whining at? Do you need attention? I love you. Your best friend. I read the question out loud. It was easy, but at the same time very important. The answer to that was my sister's name, so I carefully wrote it into the squares. Olya. Olya. I repeated my sister's name while sneaking out of the school. Do you have to go potty? There was a cute, freshly drawn dragon in my notebook that I made to please my beloved sister. In the land of darkness and deceit, her support was the only thing that inspired me to keep drawing and stop me from losing hope in humanity. Refreshing frosty air made my cheeks turn beet red. It was bright outside, and the sun looked like a whole egg yolk. And I have to take my dog out. Okay. The road looked as if it was silvered. The snow sparkled under the sunlight. I smiled, squinting from the blinding whiteness. Who cares if I don't have any true friends anymore? I do have something more important. Someone who needs my help, who will never betray or hurt me. Family is the most important thing ever. That's what Dad always told me.
Лыс, хорош лыбу тянуть.
Aw, shit. Hey, what's up with that stupid grin? My numb lips immediately shrank. Bayasha was shuffling his feet in the middle of the yard, his boots relentless on the ice.
Я не тяну.
It's not a grin. I tried to go around him, to no avail. Lady Fortune waved me goodbye, disappearing into the early twilight.
Торопишься на?
In a hurry?
Немного. Меня папа ждет.
A little bit. Dad is waiting for me.
Я ему тиркну на пейджер, что ты не придешь на.
I'll shoot him a pager message. You're not coming. My eyes flinched unwittingly. My skin dampened.
Идем на. Тебе
Let's go. We have a small business to discuss. I felt chills run all over my body. I didn't like the sound of that small business. Those words, accompanied by spitting, normally hid very dark deeds underneath them. Strangers that used to call our old apartment used to say, "Get your old man, we have a small business to discuss." Bayasha turned around. He looked like an astronaut in his tight hood. Probably looked like Kenny. If I were to imagine him as a sound, he'd be a deafening whistle, a slight signal given by someone who stands watch. To my demise, there was nobody in the backyard. Apart from the grim-faced Romka. Ooh, he stood there, his feet wide apart with his right hand hidden behind his back. Romka's dry lips were tightly pursed. He kept shooting glances at me as he looked around.
Привёл на!
There he is.
Вижу.
I can see that.
Ну, здорово,
All there,
Антоша.
Antosha.
Что тебе нужно?
What do you want? He slowly took out a thin, carnivorous, shiny blade from his back. A knife, the steel butterfly of death that flies towards the victim's heartbeat. I stepped back instinctively and rammed my back into Bayasha. Romka's minion pushed me back.
А мы с Бешей хотели узнать,
We wanted to know,
ты не держишь на нас обиду?
do you have any hard feelings for me or Bayasha? Romka started picking on his yellow nail, looking at me with an evil smirk on his face.
Ну, там, в лесу. Мы были немного грубы с тобой.
Well, there in the forest we kind of roughed you off. It's just our poor upbringing, you know?
Да, до вас, городских, далеко.
Yeah, not as cultured as you city folk.
Вот порой нас и заносит.
So we get feisty sometimes. I nodded, my eyes glued to the knife. The blade glowed under the setting sun, and Romka's eyes had the same evil glow. He stepped towards me. His knife traveled inches away from my coat. One movement and steel would cut into cloth, and if he pushed deeper...
Нам одна птичка напела. Ты опять возле Полины отирался?
A little bird told us that you were snooping about Polina again. I was so scared that it took me a while to remember who Polina was. My brain was malfunctioning. My knees were shaking. Suddenly, our class rep slowly walked up to Romka from behind.
О, смотрю, мальчики, вы нашли общий язык.
I see you boys are getting along quite well.
За мной должок, Катька.
I owe you one, Katya.
Ой, не благодари, Ромочка. Я всегда на страже настоящей любви.
Oh, no need to thank me, Romochka. I'm always fighting for true love.
Да-да-да.
I'll kill you, I swear.
Так, я не слышу. Ты к Полине подходил или нет?
I can't hear you. Were you with Polina or not?
Мы так болтали.
Well, we didn't hang out or anything.
Болтать будешь кишками, когда я тебе брюхо вскрою.
The only thing hanging out here will be your guts when I cut open your stomach. The blade sliced across my sleeve with its dull side and reached for my collar. The wind made my face cold, but a bead of sweat still trickled from my temple. A switch flipped in my head. It all made sense now. I remembered Romka constantly sneaking glances at Polina. I remembered his scrawny handwriting in the questionnaire. Why didn't I study it more in depth?
Еще раз замечу рядом с Полинкой, пеняй на себя. Шишкой не отделаешься.
I see you near Polina even once and you won't get away with a simple bump.
Усек?
Got it?
Да,
Yes.
Пшел вон!
Now scram. I was probably so hypnotized by the knife that Romka had to repeat his threat.
Вон!
Scram! I thought about the cold, sharp blade when retreating from the yard. I was asking myself whether I had enough courage to break the promise I made to those bastards. The aftertaste of horrible water I drank down my meds with lingered in my mouth. But Romka's threat was also on my mind.
Да, ага,
I
да.
wandered around the house feeling intoxicated and nodded to everything my sister said without trying to discern her words. Olya was talking non-stop, at times lifting her arms and laughing, only to then suddenly go quiet and give Mom's signature gnarly look.
А?
I was yanked out of the prison of my mind only when seething thoughts pecked at my brain like harpies, stopping me from coming back to reality. I stared back. Olya looked like a mini version of our mom right now. Well, to be precise, she looked like the person Mom turned into when we moved here, with her intimidating posture and her eyebrows directed towards the ceiling.
Ты меня не слушал, так?
You weren't listening to me, were you? She tried spitting out those words at me, copying facial expressions of the person she spent almost all of her free time with. For a moment, I felt like the light Olya exuded all these years waned and wavered in the wind of prolonged changes. Very soon, my beautiful princess will turn into the dragon that was once guarding her prison tower. That thought was much scarier to me than any other horror sneaking up to me from the future.
Оля, прости.
Sorry, Olya.
Ты же не сердишься, правда? Я просто задумался.
I didn't want to make you mad, I just got lost in thought. I looked around the room, my gaze jumping from one object to another like a hungry beast, trying to find anything that could distract Olya.
А давай в приставку поиграем.
Let's play the console. Olya pouted, but there was a spark of interest in her small emerald eyes. The Snow Queen's ice shards inside them started thawing.
А как же второй джойстик? Не работает же.
And what about the second controller? It's not working.
А папе починить некогда.
And Dad has no time to fix it.
Можем из пистолета пострелять.
We can play with the light gun.
В ковбоев или уток. Хочешь?
What do you want to play? Cowboys? Ducks? You're better at me than both. You're better than me at both.
Да ладно тебе.
Oh, come on.
Поди целый день тренировалась, пока меня дома не было.
You must have been practicing the whole time I was away from home. Olya burst out laughing. Her heart was warm again.
А как ты догадался?
How did you know?
Я сейчас знаешь, какая меткая. Считай, уже проиграл.
But I'm a good shooter now. You've already lost.
Не на того напала. Включай скорее.
You've picked the wrong fight here. Come on, turn it on. Little Olya jumped towards the TV set after flickering the power switch. Started blindly feeling around the back of the photon, trying to plug the console's cable into the antenna input. Bits of TV shows started flashing on the CRT screen when I armed myself with the remote to look for the channel with the sought-after Dendy signal. An 8-bit gaming console that circulated in the regions of the 90s. It was an unofficial third generation Famicom or NES clone. Neither Famicom nor NES were ever licensed under the Russian market, so Dundee was the only popular alternative for 8-bit gaming during that time period.
Что дома интересного происходило?
Did anything interesting happen at home? It was a mundane question for me. I didn't put any actual meaning behind it. But Yulia's expression suddenly changed. She lost all of the childish nonchalantness she worked so hard to acquire before.
Что-то случилось?
What happened, Olia? BRB. Hey, sweetie pie. I know you need to go for a hike sometime. My sister managed to put the cable in its place and started brushing off her dust-covered hand. She was clearly looking for courage to continue the conversation. Mom, Olia went silent for a moment. I thought I saw tears welling up in her eyes. She had this scary thing happen to her again. My sister looked at me with wet eyes.
Приступ.
She had a fit, huh? This had happened before, but it was a rare occasion. Now that we moved to this godforsaken place, Mom's fits rose in frequency.
Папа принес большую рыбу.
Dad brought home a big fish.
Но в газету была завернута и
It was
пахла.
wrapped in newspaper and had a foul smell.
А мама опять
Mom got
начала
angry
злиться.
again and she took a knife. Olia squirmed, looking fearfully out the window.
Они начали громко
They started
ругаться.
screaming at each other. I froze, imagining my little sister so small and unnoticeable standing in the kitchen doorway. She wasn't even trying to hide. Our parents just paid her no mind at all.
И потом мама ударила.
And then Mom struck it,
Вот так.
like this. Olia moved her fists downward, imitating a strike.
Рыбу.
She hit the fish.
Она была живая тут.
It was still alive, Tosha. It must have been in pain, and Mom... It was easy to imagine what happened next. The writhing fish with the blade between its fins started squirting some foul-smelling musts into Mom's face. Whenever death got this close to my mom, be it when a person was hit by a bus in front of us and their blood was smeared all over the windshield, or when Grandma chopped off Chicken's head, Mom would always get into a weird, dreadful fit. Her eyes would roll over, she would fall on her face like a freshly cut tree, and start writhing just like that agonizing fish, turning over chairs and blaring out bits of scary nonsense.
Папа.
And what about Dad? Did he help her? Olia shuddered as if just remembering it pained her.
Да,
Yes, but at first,
Он
he
засмеялся
started laughing,
тоже.
Tosha.
Так страшно, когда увидел, что маме плохо.
He let out an evil laugh when he saw that Mom was in trouble,
Потом вдруг
but then he cried. Olya's story made me raise an eyebrow. It seemed like the forest's oozing madness had not only completely consumed our mom, but also infected our strong and courageous dad. I quickly stepped towards Olya and locked her in a tight embrace. She dug in her face into my chest, and I could feel my shirt becoming wet.
Зачем они так издеваются друг над другом тоже?
Why are they bullying each other, Tosha?
Они сумасшедшие.
Are they crazy? I uttered, unable to justify the actions of our parents. I ran out of words, and all I could do was hug Olya even tighter. Olya screamed and hid behind me.
Переключи скорей!
Turn it off, quick! No matter how many times she saw this intro, she would always react the same, just like when she saw that owl. I mean, I also got goosebumps every time that ghostly face appeared on screen, so I immediately complied with my sister's request. Finally, the game selection screen showed up for the cartridge that was bundled with the console. Cool. Too bad most of the names here were just different levels of the same game. I picked up the gray rectangular controller and started looking around the pixelated letters to find the familiar English word for duck. Background music from the menu soothed Olya's mind, and she asked in a calm voice,
А как
"How are
твои
things
дела
at
в школе?
school?"
Ничего хорошего.
Nothing good.
Школа новая, а достается мне по-прежнему.
The school is new, but my treatment is the same.
Словно и не переезжали никуда. Задолбало.
As if we never moved. I'm so tired of this. Before despair could lead me down its depressing road towards the clutches of oppressive thoughts, something evil writhed deep inside my skull. Rose, do you mind? Awakening wild and pleasant memories.
Хотя, знаешь, кое-что хорошее все же случилось.
Actually, something good did happen. Olya watched with hope-filled eyes as a wicked smile spread on my face, faintly resembling the wound from a box cutter knife. Really?
Еще один мальчик пропал.
Another boy went missing. Oh, he's evil.
Тоша, разве это хорошо? Почему ты так говоришь?
Tosha, do you think that's good? Why do you say that? My sister's voice trembled when she looked into my eyes through the thick lenses.
Знаешь, а может, тот пропавший Вова сам виноват, что с ним это случилось?
Rose. Here. Break. Thank you. You know that other boy missing? Break. You know that other boy that's missing, Vova? Maybe what happened to him was all his fault.
Может, он совершил
Maybe he
нечто
did something so
настолько
bad
плохое,
that he no
что
longer
не
deserved to
заслуживал жить.
lie. I'm not going to say that.
Не будь таким жестоким, пожалуйста!
I got second place my first game. Good job, Thaija. Don't be so cruel, please. Olya pressed her knees into her chin and hugged them with her hands, trying to take up less space. As if she wanted to shrink or even disappear altogether. It was the only reasonable thing for us to do. Go missing among the other broken toys. And never encounter evil parents or mad classmates. We're the only ones left for each other, the only ones who can protect, listen, and sympathize. Which means she's bound to listen to what I think about them all. Those beasts pretending to be children that are so eager to bully the weak. It was my turn to speak.
Думаю, они не последние.
I think they won't be the last. Wow, he's crazy. This game has changed since I last played it. My breath quickened. My fingers started banging on the wooden floorboard.
Такие люди, как они, недостойны жить, ходить с нами в одну школу,
Not reading that.
смотреть на твой свет.
My thoughts got tangled. They slipped away along with my calmness.
Тошенька, хватит! Ты меня пугаешь!
Tosha, stop it. You're scaring me.
Не бойся, я смогу тебя защитить.
Don't be scared. I can protect you. Then I finally noticed that Olya was looking at me like I was a stranger.
Кто ты?
Who are you? The rage that welled up inside me subsided. It hid under the guise of my cowardliness, leaving me alone with the growing feeling of guilt for scaring my little sister.
Оленька, прости, я не хотел.
Olya, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
Видимо, я схожу с ума в этой школе.
I guess I'm just going crazy in that school. She rushed to embrace me, barely holding back her tears.
Все хорошо, Тоша. Только, пожалуйста, пожалуйста, никогда так больше не говори.
It's okay, Tosha. Just please, never say anything like this again.
Клянусь маминым сердцем.
I swear on Mom's heart. Olya flashed me a bitter smile.
А сам сказал, что так говорить нехорошо.
And you told me I shouldn't say
Ты
that.
права.
You're
Давай
right.
лучше
Let's
играть.
start playing already.
Только чур я первая.
I'll go first. Fuck. There we go.
Ну-ка, от винта!
Let's get dangerous. She has been practicing.
Кто на новенького?
Do I have to beat her?
Поиграли и будет.
Aww.
Антон!
I earned an achievement though. My mom only managed to get through to me on her third attempt.
Антон, тебя к телефону.
Anton, there's a call for you.
Девушка какая-то.
It's a girl. I sobered up in an instant and rushed to the hallway.
Не споткнись, смотри.
Watch your step. I grabbed the phone, pressed it into my chest, looking at my mom. She shrugged and went into the room, gathering the toys thrown by Olya as she went.
Алло?
Hello?
У твоей мамы такой молодой голос.
Your mom has such a young voice.
А, ну да. Она сама молодая.
Well, yeah, I mean, she is young.
Не мешаю?
Are you busy right now?
Нет, что ты.
No, of course not. If only she knew how costly this conversation could be for me, what risks I took on just answering this call. There was a pen and paper, a shabby notebook lying on the nightstand. I picked them up and started moving the tip of the pen across the paper, producing chaotic doodles that always ended up turning into hearts.
Я тут подумала, мне надо тебе сказать кое-что.
I've been thinking, I need to tell you something. I froze. It can't be. Does she like me?
В последнее время у тебя такой
You've been
потерянный
looking
вид,
so lost lately.
а сегодня в школе на тебе буквально лица
When
не
I
было.
saw you at school today, you were pale like a ghost. I couldn't find words. My heart was aflutter in anticipation.
Я хочу сказать,
I wanted to say
я на твоей
that
стороне.
I'm on your side. A smile was spreading on my face in anticipation for Polina's next
Мне
words.
тебя очень жаль.
And I feel sorry for you.
Такие хорошие ребята, как ты, заслуживают большего.
Good guys like you deserve better.
Мне очень хочется верить, что однажды ты найдешь в себе силы дать отпор, и другие перестанут тебя задирать.
I want to believe that you'll find the strength to fight back at some point and others will stop picking on you. The pen fell out of my weak fingers. Is that all she's going to say?
Может, даже девушку найдешь.
Maybe you'll even find a girlfriend. She sounded as if she was unsure of her own words.
Короче, знай, ты славный парень.
Well, I just wanted to let you know you're a nice guy. It was a total failure. Compassion instead of an invitation to hang out.
Ты тут?
You there? Before I could reply, Olya descended the stairs. She was holding some book in a pink cover, Encyclopedia of a Young Lady.
Ты долго еще?
Will you take long? I covered the handset with my hand.
Я разговариваю.
I'm in the middle of a conversation.
Что случилось?
What happened?
Почитай мне, пожалуйста.
Read me a bedtime story, please.
Мама уснула.
Mom fell asleep.
Иди к себе, я сейчас.
Go to your room. I'll be there in a minute.
Только быстрее, ладно?
Just be quick, okay?
Ладно.
Fine. My last reply sounded excessively annoyed. I sighed, watching my sister run up the stairs.
Алло, Полина?
Hello, Polina?
Прости, мне надо бежать.
Sorry, I need to run.
Представляешь, кое-кто втюрился в меня и теперь отирается у моих окон, требуя сходить с ним на свидание.
Can you imagine? There's someone in love with me and he snoops about under my windows demanding that I go on a date with him?
Пойду прогоню его, пока дедушка не проснулся.
I'll go chase him away before Grandpa wakes up.
Или может дать ему шанс?
Or maybe I should give him a chance. I bit my lower lip in jealousy.
Если интересно, расскажу тебе завтра.
I'll tell you tomorrow if you want.
Мы в конце концов друзья.
We're friends after all. Wow. Friends. At least she didn't say we were besties.
Да, Конечно.
Yeah, sure.
Добрый.
Good. The buzzer hammered at my brain. I'm not saying that. Like a restless zombie devoid of consciousness, I dragged my feet up the staircase. I wished I could tell Dad, ask for his manly incel advice. But he doesn't show up home until late at night because of his new job. My parents don't have time for me, to put it lightly.
Ну, где твоя книжка?
Well, where's your book? I stuttered. The kids' room was empty.
Оль?
Olya? She probably snuck into my room. I started walking down the corridor. The room was infested with shadows. The blinds were wavering like there was someone hiding behind them. I smiled, sneaking towards the window and threw open the curtains.
Попалась!
Gotcha. There was nobody behind the cloth. The window was a TV screen showing winter scenery. The lamppost, the field, and a couple of walking figures in the middle of it. Elisa and Olya. I gasped and pressed my fist to my mouth, sinking my teeth into it. Elisa was leading Olya into the thicket. I needed less than a minute to hurriedly dress and rush out of the house. My heart was beating like a firing machine gun. Probably at the cyclic rate. Wind carried the cold, resinous smell of coniferous trees from the forest. Freezing air crackled somewhere in the field. Two shadows loomed in front of the gate. I could only recognize them as my sister and the fox girl because of their height. I ran towards the fence, listening to the howling wind and the squeaking snow. One of the figures moved and slowly glided towards the thicket like an ice skater. I slowed down and touched my glasses, trying in vain to adjust my vision to the surrounding darkness. Worry landed on my shoulders like a weightless snowflake. A snake woke up in my belly and started writhing. I felt nauseous. I thought about my home, the flimsy fortress I'd left behind. I finally caught up to my sister, dressed only in a coat.
Оля!
Olya,
Ты видел лисичку?
have you seen the foxy?
Оля, зачем ты вышла на улицу?
Olya, why did you go outside?
Если мама узнает...
If Mom finds out... My sister froze in place, facing the taiga. She wasn't in hand's reach, and I put my numb wrist on her shoulder for some reason, probably to make sure it wasn't a dream. A pointy beak was directed at me, strewn with feathers that formed an owl's face. Something wearing a bird's mask was staring at me.
Ого, не узнает.
Who she won't... The voice sounded exactly like Olya's, but there was somebody else hiding behind the feathers and the curtain. I sprinted away as if I got whipped. The masked creature only pretended to be Olya, just to lure me out. I was running like crazy, drowning in snow. The house in front of me was rapidly growing, the yellow light in its windows granting me hope. My mom and sister are there, my salvation. I couldn't hear anything from behind me, as if nobody was chasing me. Maybe it's because the owls can fly? I was already climbing the porch when I noticed another figure. From the soot-black shadow of my house, a scruffy wolf cub crawled out and stood in my way. Its movements were jerky, chaotic, as if it was performing some terrifying dance, or convulsing during a stroke. and even though I could clearly see the wolf face was a mask, something in this werewolf's convulsions made me freeze in place. The boy in a wolf's costume rubbed his side against the porch post and fell to his knees. He bent his back so hard that I expected his spine to crack. The beast's eyes shone, but he didn't attack. He kept crawling around and running on all fours. I shifted my feet, my mouth agape, trying to keep him in my line of sight. Something was trickling from the slit in the mask. Viscous drops fell to the wooden planks. Saliva. Some unknown force pushed me back, whispering me to save myself. The fence was flashing by the edge of my vision. I was running in another direction this time, towards the toothy edge of the forest that smelled of pine. My heartbeat measured time. The wolf boy growled behind my back as if he forgot his human nature. My right leg got stuck in the snow-laden cavity. I yanked it out, cursing under my breath, and fell to the ground. Plastered snow prevented me from standing up, from propping myself against anything. But my unbound thirst for life helped me get out of that trap. Darkness was creeping closer, like the toxic fumes of the burial pyres. I ran again, gasping for air that stung in my throat. My hair swayed in the wind. I lost my hat when I fell down, and my ears were now hot from the freezing cold while most of my body was still sweaty. The field finally ended. After realizing that running into the forest wasn't the smartest decision I could make, I dove into the line of trees. I ran without stopping, my face covered with one of my palms. I didn't want to lose an eye to some random branch. You have glasses. Branches whipped my clothes, pricked my skin like butchers that were herding a pig into the grinder. A knot of roots sprouted from the ground, grabbing at my foot. I rammed into the scratchy trunk, slid down to its base, and looked around in panic.
Ух, какой ты быстрый!
Phew, you're so fast. My first desire was to dash towards her and hug her. I resisted and squeezed myself even tighter into the pine. You, what are you doing here?
Да вот,
This and that. She was holding the hat I had lost.
в бюро находок подрабатываю.
Working part-time and lost and found.
Надевай, а то уши замерзнут, а потом, глядишь, и вовсе отвалятся.
Put it on, or your ears will freeze and maybe even fall off soon. She giggled. I squinted in suspicion and shifted my gaze back and forth between her and the hat, scared that Elisa might be holding a severed head or something even more sinister. But in the end, my hat turned out to be just my hat. I took it and put it over my forehead.
Тепло?
Feeling warmer? I didn't reply.
Там во дворе были какие-то дети.
There were some children in the yard.
И что, покусали тебя, что ли?
And? Did they bite you or something?
Нет.
No.
А чего же ты убежал?
Then why did you run away? The answer was obvious, but after rolling the thought on my tongue, I mumbled,
Не знаю.
I don't know.
Эх, обещал не обзывать тебя дурачком.
Why did I promise to never call you a dunce again?
А я обещание исполняю.
Oh well, I keep my promises. She walked up to me and grabbed me by the elbow. I sensed the familiar aroma of mint, oranges, and burnt sparklers. I wanted to lean into Elisa, to savor the minute details of her smell.
Сколько можно повторять? Со мной ты в безопасности.
How many times do I need to tell you? You're safe as long as you're with me.
Я твой друг.
I'm your friend.
И они.
And they are too. I quickly turned around toward the place the fox girl was pointing to. Kids in masks appeared in the clearing. At least they looked like kids since they weren't all pretty short. A wolf boy, an owl girl, and a bear boy. They all huffed and gasped for air, clearly tired from running around. I thought you fell through the snow. Started digging around but couldn't find you.
Я не копал, лень копать было.
And I didn't care enough.
А ну как получается? Если дурак, ты бегай да копай.
You see, if you're dumb, you run around and dig.
А если умный,
And if you're
подожди,
smart, you
пока
wait until the
другие
others get tired of
набегаются,
running around and
накопают.
digging.
И уж тогда заводи разговор.
Then you start talking.
Как я рад!
You're a rat.
Дегенерат!
Degenerate.
А?
Не обращай внимания, он со странностями.
Don't mind him. He's a weirdo. I stood there stupefied, my mouth agape and my hands dangling hopelessly. I had no idea how to react to the words of these late night guests, but I managed to squeeze out something resembling a smile.
Вы просто меня напугали.
You just scared me, that's all. They started looking at each other and somebody even snorted as if I said something funny.
Да, да, лиса права!
Yes, the fox is right.
Это он.
He's the one.
Нет, это наш!
No, this is our... Have we finally found him?
Наш зайчик.
Our bunny. Yes, he looks the part. The wolf boy started wagging a part of his costume like it was his tail in excitement. First.
Ну, конечно, ты первый.
Of course you were first.
Это волчик раньше всех почуял зайчика в тебе и рассказал нам.
Wolfie here was the first to sense the bunny in you. He told us about you.
Здравствуй.
Hello.
С нашей совушкой ты знаком не понаслышке. Не такая уж она и страшная, правда?
And you've already met our Hootie before. She isn't that scary, is she?
Да, наверное.
I guess.
А этот улыбчивый бугай — медвежутка.
And this smiling big guy is Teddy.
Ты лучше с ним поласкавее, а то голову откусит.
Be mindful of him or he'll chew off your head.
Зачем это?
What?
Да, смотрю, ты и чувство юмора где-то обронил.
I see you've also dropped your sense of humor somewhere along the way here. I was still unsure if these peculiar little animals had the best intentions in mind, so I hid my hands behind my back, trying to look away from the gaping holes of their carnival masks. Elisa put her hands to her sides in a theatrical manner and somehow managed to wink with her fox face.
Когда в следующий раз придем,
The next time we come, we'll ring bells for you. That way you'll be less scared of our visit. Do we even have any bells?
Чур, я звенеть не буду.
I won't be ringing.
У меня лапка болит.
My paw hurts. My smile was no longer fake.
о, зубы показал. Это добрый знак.
Aw, you showed us your teeth. That's a good sign.
Не ожидала, что сможем тебя рассмешить.
I didn't expect you to find us fun.
Я думала, это под силу только Диснейленду.
I thought it was an emotion reserved strictly to Disneyland.
Откуда ты знаешь?
How do you know that?
Да так, прочитала кое-где.
I read about it somewhere.
Про меня?
You read about me?
Про клюв от воробья. Про Диснейленд яхонтовый.
Aren't you funny? No, about Disneyland, darling.
Ты умеешь читать по-человечески?
You can read human?
Зря я, что ли, в школу хожу день ото дня.
Do you think I've been going to school every day for nothing? Is she Paulina? And then she's saying in a coquette's voice.
Как детей не замечать, как мечты их развенчать. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе. Крепко-накрепко вломить, с детства слабеньких чморить. Учат в школе, учат в школе, учат в школе.
I am not singing, but that was adorable. If you want to see what they said, put it on pause. I let out a cautious laugh. My new acquaintances. Hi. Hey. You're awfully affectionate today. Is it because I'm playing Tiny Bunny? My new acquaintances didn't seem scary anymore. On the contrary, they looked friendly and welcoming. There was something about them that attracted me. Just like this clearing, this moon, and the snowflakes that fell backwards from the ground to the sky, as if someone was rewinding a tape. Wow, they are falling backwards. The masked kids got close and I felt their touch. They gave me friendly taps, felt my clothes as if I was checking whether I was real. There was no animalistic malice in their touch, only pure childish curiosity. For some reason, I thought to myself, I can trust them. Snowflakes just kept on floating upwards.
Никто тебя больше не обидит.
Nobody will hurt you anymore.
Друг.
Friend.
Пусть только попробуют.
Yeah, if somebody even tries to. The fox gave me a slight tug and burst out laughing.
Ну что, Тоша, убежишь с воплями или с нами пойдешь?
Well then, Tosha, will you run away screaming or come with us?
Куда?
Where to?
На аттракционы!
The amusement park. At that moment, Taga's deceptive silence was broken by the sound of a distant flute. Mesmerizing and alluring, it brought about the ring of crystal glass and the whisper of fresh winter spring. If I had any doubts before, the flute's song shattered the last of them. I started following my new friends before I could even make my decision. My legs carried me of their own free will, and the tunnels made of pines stepped apart. Bushes bowed in front of our procession. Everything looked dreamlike. Because even the clearing we ended up in, I only saw in my dream. The flute soared up on the treetops like some fantastical bird. The snowflakes floated up in a spiral. The moon painted tree branches with silver. I love you. Elisa gasped in amazement. I was also in awe. I tilted my head backwards as far as I could. Hoot, what a sight.
Очень красиво.
It's so beautiful. Wolfie howled in agreement.
Это мелочи.
This is nothing.
Я покажу
I can show you much more,
если захочешь.
if you want. I did want. I wanted to see what the fox girl saw with her eyes hidden in the semi-dark of her cape. Now I didn't feel weird about these masked kids. I felt weird for being the only one without a mask. I felt like I was naked in the January winds.
Скажите, а зачем вам маски?
Why do you wear these masks? I was trembling but wasn't scared. My trembling wasn't caused by the cold. It originated from the peculiar anxiousness, the anticipation of something amazing.
А тебе зачем?
And why do you ask? I touched my cold cheek.
Но я без маски.
I'm not wearing one.
Обожаю человеческие сказки.
I love human tales.
Человеческие ласки.
Human nails?
Человеческие дрязги.
Human fails.
Я же говорила,
I've already told you.
все жители поселка носят маски.
All the villagers wear masks.
Только скрываются за ними отнюдь не люди.
It's just you won't find anything underneath them.
И даже я?
Even me?
Ты такой рассеянный, Антон.
You're so clumsy, Anton.
Однажды мы уже нашли твои очки.
We've already found your glasses once already.
И шапку.
And your hat.
И твое настоящее лицо.
And your real face. I looked at the mask the fox was holding out to me. The bunny mask that looked like a silver ingot under the moonlight. I was curious to see the world through its slits. Suddenly, fighting its way through the flute's melody, a thought came to me. The glasses they had found were in Semyon's possession. My new acquaintances must have known what happened to him. Or even worse.
А куда подевался Семен? Что с ним стало?
And where did Semyon disappear to? What happened to
И с
him?
остальными детьми?
And the other children? The bear and the owl looked at each other. The wolf boy curled into a ball, and the fox lowered the pointy nose of her mask.
Тот, кого держали в клетке.
The one who was kept in a cage.
Тот, кто режет мелко-мелко.
The one who cuts into little pieces.
Тот, кто носит кожаное лицо, забрал их.
The one who wears a skin face took them.
Умел бы я креститься, перекрестился бы.
If I knew how to cross myself, I'd do it.
Хотите сказать, это был человек?
So you're saying it was a human?
Чем ты только слушал?
Were you even listening to us?
Разве можно назвать такого, как он, человеком?
How can you call someone like him human?
Одно слово, взрослый.
There's just one word for him, an adult.
В мире взрослых так легко потеряться.
It's so easy to get lost in the adult world.
Убийцы, жестокие дрессировщики и
Killers.
равнодушные родители.
Cruel animal trainers and cold parents.
Лучше об этом вовсе не думать, чтобы не грустить.
Nah, if you don't want to get sad, better not to think about them.
Не знаю, как вам, а мне печалиться совсем не хочется.
I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to be sad.
И я сегодня какой-то не грустный.
Somehow, I'm also not sad today.
Антон, а ты?
What about you, Anton?
А?
Huh? I was lost in thought, staring at the pines, trying to pinpoint the location of the flute. I was sure that the person who played it was standing right behind the piney stockade. Someone tall going over the holes in the flute with their long fingers.
Так что, сядем тосковать или займемся отдыхом?
What now? Are we going to sit and be sad or have some fun?
Алиса хотела что-то показать.
Elisa wanted to show me something.
Давай начнем с самой сладкой части программы.
Let's start with the sweet stuff. The fox girl took out a handful of candy from her pocket and handed them to each of the kids. Covers shuffled. The smell of pineapple, cocoa, and melon wafted through the air. The last treat, a chocolate-covered waffle candy, Elisa put right into my mouth. My tongue was engulfed in spiciness. It felt like my body was covered in fur and small sparks were running along it. I chewed on the waffle and the chocolate, gulped them down, and enjoyed the vivid taste.
Спасибо.
Thanks. My gratitude was barely audible because my lips were already touching the inside of the mask. I didn't even notice how I put it against my face. The paper mache was warm. The mask stuck to my skin, giving it a nice prickle. The kind when you dive into a hot bath after being outside in winter, when you lie there and purr from the soapy water.
Говорила же, это твое!
See, I told you, this is yours.
Моё.
Mine?
Чего стоим? За нас веселиться никто не будет.
What are you waiting for? The fun won't have itself. You're right. The melody kept swirling in the field like a hurricane. I couldn't wait to release the energy, the heat that this enchanting music was filling me with. The owl jumped and disappeared into the sky. I heard laughter from somewhere above, and then she landed back, huffing and sighing.
И ты так можешь. Попробуй.
You can do it too. Give it a try. El Herrera. My feet tore off from the ground. I flew towards the stars like a rocket and screamed from the happiness after seeing my friends down below. The wind helped me fly. It felt like I was jumping onto a huge trampoline. The stars looked like vivid sparkles that I could reach up and lick. The moon also got closer, and then I plunged. I got scared I'd break my legs for a moment, but my soles landed softly on the ground and I regained my balance.
С нами ты в безопасности.
You're safe with us,
И все твои мечты станут явью.
and all your dreams will come true.
Я так счастлива наконец обрести тебя.
I'm so happy that I finally found you,
Зайчик.
Bunny. In a fit of merry laughter, I realized the most important thing. These four are not a threat. My real enemies, and I felt that with every single hair on my mask, were those who knew nothing about magic. Humans from the village. I also realized how alive my surroundings had become. I heard the dry grass under the snow moan. I saw faces of trees and stars. The trees were smirking and the stars were grimacing in fear. That's right, be scared. I'll jump up to you, and I snapped my teeth and let out a jubilant laugh, jumping up along with the fox. We flew higher than the tallest pines and stayed in the air. I swirled, Elisa following my rhythm. I knew that she was smiling, so I smiled too. And the flute just kept on playing, carrying us higher and higher.
Эй, тебя что, заколдовали?
Hey, did someone put a spell on you? That someone is standing next to me, I thought, trying to unglue my chin from my desk. My muscles felt slightly sore, but that feeling was pleasant. The whole class was wandering around for some reason, whispering and passing notes to each other. Their faces looked like discolored masks to me, bleak and boring. I yawned, remembering the time I was soaring high above the forest with Elisa by my side, laughing and squeezing my hand. Perhaps, no, probably it was all just a dream. Because I didn't walk back from the forest, just woke up in my bed on a normal morning with tea and medicine. Still, I was hardly worried about trying to find a rational explanation for my night dance. That feeling of flight was much more important. The knowledge of how it feels to be hanging in the air above the treetops of majestic pines and baring my teeth at the moon.
Прости, задумался.
Sorry, I got lost in thought.
Слышал уже про Катю?
Have you heard about Katya?
А?
Huh? I glanced at the empty seat in front of me.
Катя пропала.
Katya went missing. My sleepiness was gone in an instant. I frowned in suspicion.
Как пропала? Быть не может.
What do you mean? It can't be. Well, thank you for joining me for episode 3 of Tiny Bunny. And next time we'll do episode 4, Stomp Your Hooves and Wait. Until then, stay safe, have fun, and be kind. Bye.